The month-long cruise is years in the making. Meticulous planning for one of the most remote and least mapped regions on Earth. And on board, polar navigation specialists and ice spotting radar and lights, all to avoid a catastrophe.
If the entire ship, all 1,000 passengers, all 600 crew, require search and rescue, for instance, if the ship sinks, then that would actually break the Canadian search and rescue system. They would not be able to get to those people and retrieve them in time.
The Northwest Passage is largely out of reach for Canada's search and rescue helicopters. Military planes would be dispatched from Victoria, Trenton, and Halifax, even Alaska and Greenland for a ship this size. But a rescue on that scale could take days. 6 years ago, when the much smaller Clipper Adventurer cruise got stuck on an unexpected shoal, it took 2 days for the nearest Coast Guard icebreaker to steam to the rescue, taking passengers to an Inuit community.
You have no idea what a terrible scritching sound a ship can make when it goes on the rocks.
We all moved into the forward lounge, put on our life vests, had our emergency cold weather and wet weather clothes, and waited while they did a thorough inspection of the boat.
This year, the Serenity is taking no chances, chartering its own icebreaker as a constant escort. Nonetheless, the cruise line, along with the Canadian and U.S. Coast Guards, are running through the worst-case scenarios next week, partly to avoid them, and partly to practice how to respond if they do.
As a Coast Guardsman, I don't want a repeat of the Titanic, and we need to make sure that we think this through and get it done correctly.
Officials say the Crystal Cruise Line particularly is very focused on safety, but it is the first of the world's big cruise companies to try something like this, and more are expected to follow.
Some of these other companies don't have the level of professionalism. They're not spending the amount of money to ensure that they're absolutely safe. And once these other ships start sailing the Northwest Passage, a major accident is almost inevitable.
And so this summer's 32-day crossing is a test run of sorts, an opportunity to learn how to do it right before the Arctic waters fill with these vessels.
We're going to use this event, the exercise and the actual voyage through the Northwest Passage, to evaluate the risks, the challenges, and to be sure with Transport Canada if the regulations are appropriate. And so we will evaluate this year to be sure we're prepared for the future.